everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel. My name is Bianca. If you haven't been here before, I'm a lifestyle blogger out of Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm also a beauty YouTuber, super new lifestyle and beauty, I should say, because I am doing some lifestyle content as well. I love to make videos and engage with people in a new way, so this is kind of new for me, but today I will be sharing with you my everyday full foundation makeup look. I previously have shared my everyday makeup look. It's very simple, very natural, but today I'm just doing my foundation routine and then showing you a bit of a rose gold eyeshadow compared to the simple tan one I've done before. If you'd like to see that video, I'll link it in the comments below. You can also find it on my channel, and let's get to it. So I always start my foundation routine off with a primer. I usually just put it on my hand and then I'll rub it in with my fingers. It's really easy just to throw the primer on, but a primer is really important just to make sure that all your makeup is setting right. I like to always put one on, make sure I spread it out evenly. This one's really lightweight. This is the Healthy Skin Primer by Neutrogena. It has SPF in it, but it's only 15. I don't really look for anything with SPF in it usually. I don't really burn too bad, but it's nice to have it in there, especially on hot days. We're losing the heat around here though, so it doesn't really make much of a difference for me at this point. But I definitely, in the summer, like to have a primer with a little bit of SPF, just so that you know that your skin is going to stay healthy, it's going to stay hydrated. It's not going to burn, because when your skin burns, it's so hard to come back from, and it usually takes quite a few weeks, if not months, to really come back to that skin that you had originally before the burn, because you start peeling and getting red and everything. So I love to have a primer with a little SPF for that reason. I don't put too much, but I like to put a little bit on the eyelids just to make sure that they have a good foundation as well. But because we are going to be putting product on the eyelids, I don't really worry too much about them compared to the rest of my face. But I definitely like to put on a little bit. So next I'll just do my foundation, just my basic foundation routine. I like to use a liquid foundation. I don't really like powder foundations. I've tried quite a few of them and I just never feel like they go on right. I don't mind cream foundations. I've used a few of those, but right now I just really like the liquid. I have pretty dry skin, so I think the liquid is better on my skin than other types of foundation I've used. What I'm going to do is just pat this in, just try to get it even. I'll do a couple coats of this so that it doesn't look too thick at once. So I usually use a beauty blender, but right now I am waiting for my shipment of beauty blenders to come in the mail. I did order them the other day, so I'll have those sometime next week, but I am using just a triangle sponge, which you can see I've done a little bit of damage to, and even though I clean it out, the makeup still kind of stains it, so it stays in there. But these are really great to use. You can get them cheap at the drugstore. I'm just to use like temporarily. They definitely don't work as good for getting the corners of your face, to getting in between your eyes and things like that, but they do the job, and that's what's important. So I always like to use a sponge. I think the sponges work. Personally, I like the way that they apply better than brushes do. You want to just make sure you're getting everywhere so that it's even. Don't want any spotting. You don't want some spots to be thicker than others, but you definitely want it to look natural. So, and that's another thing with the foundation, is finding the right shade of foundation is really important. If you get a shade, you know, it's a little too light or a little too dark, it just won't look right with the rest of your body. So I like to get one that's a little in between, and then I put some bronzer on my neck and just on my upper chest where you can see it, so that way it blends really well. But I always try to get a foundation that matches as close as possible. So after doing that initial layer of the foundation. I'm going to spray it, and then I'm going to add another layer of foundation. My all-time favorite setting spray is the Makeup Forever Mist and Fix. You cannot beat this. It is a little pricey, but it's 100% worth it. It goes a long way, and it feels great when it's on, so I definitely recommend trying this one out. So just do a little bit of a mist, and then we're going to go back and just do one more layer, and then we'll spray it again. You just want to make sure that that foundation is staying where you put it, so making sure that it is in the right spots, and then we'll go back over it with our concealer. So now that I have the second layer of foundation on, I'm not going to put any more on because I don't want it to be too heavy on my skin, but this one is really light, so it's nice. The 2 layers actually is perfect. It's just enough, and it's not too heavy, which is great. So next I'm going to go back and use my eye perfector. I'm going to use this actually as a concealer. So I have a lighter color here, and this is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Brightening Eye Perfector. This also has SPF in it. It's SPF 25, so again with that SPF, just so that you're keeping your skin healthy, especially when it's hot or it's sunny, so that you're making sure that you're taking good care of your skin is really important. So this is in the shade Fair 05, so this is what it looks like. It's just a stick, and this is actually a little twisty one, so it's kind of different, but I'm actually liking how it's been working, so I definitely recommend checking it out. I've heard a lot of great things about the Tarte concealers as well, and I'll definitely be picking some of those up to try just because I've heard such amazing things. But for right now, this is what I'm using. So what I'll do is just line under my eyes, and I'll start there, and then we'll also do it on the corners of the mouth and a little bit over spots that need to be covered. I have a few here that I'll need to be covering today that just popped up on me, so I'll show you how I go about and do that. Then I'll just let it dry for a second, get the texture in there. Then I'm going to go back in and use the sponge actually to just pat this in. If you have sensitive eyes, this one does make your eyes a little bit watery. So I try not to get too close to the inner eye with this one. I try to keep it just under the eyelid. I think something in it just makes my eyes get a little irritated, so I'm always trying to make sure that I get it in just the right spot so that I don't have that problem. I'm going to go back over this spot again just because it didn't come out the way I was hoping it would. So I'll go over that guy one more time. Then do the corners of the mouth. So you keep that just on the outside of the lips. Then I'm going to do just a tiny bit on my nose. This is where I'm actually going to highlight. So I'll do a little bit here, and then I'll just do it right down the center. So now we'll have a solid base for our contouring when we go back and do that, which I'm not going to cover right now. But when I do my contouring, I always highlight down the bridge of my nose. Right here, and then right up the center of my forehead. So now that we're good with this, I'm going to go back and set it with a powder. So I've been using the Healthy Skin pressed powder. I just used the little pad it came with. Sometimes I'll use a full brush, but I think that these do the job, so I've been using one of these guys, patting it in, making sure that you get every spot. And this kind of just helps to make that liquid blend all together, so that now we're bringing it back to that original skin tone, making sure your skin tone is looking even and it's looking good. You want everything to look like it goes together, so that's the goal here, is to make everything look like it's really your skin. Okay, so now that the powder's done, I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. I just use one of these little brushes to smooth them out. And I'm going to do my eyebrows and I'll be right back. So I'm back and I did my eyebrows and my lips. Which you can see, I did actually with a the Milani Shield Brandy. It is a gorgeous color. I love it, especially for fall. I use this color almost every day. I also use the Cabernet color, which is a little bit darker than that one. It's a little bit more of a purple, whereas this one's kind of more of a maroon. And I always line it, so I actually lined it with this Jordana pencil, which is awesome. So I love these. They're really affordable. You can get them pretty much at any drugstore. And I did my brows with the Flawless Brow Trio Kit by BH Cosmetics, which I use every day when I do my brows. Super easy to use. It comes with two powders and a cream inside of it. I line with the cream and then fill with the powder. I am always trying to work on finding new ways to improve my brows. They're definitely one of the harder parts for me to do, but I'm getting a lot better at doing them. So I love that kit for doing your eyebrows, and I totally recommend it. So I have done a little bit of a highlight and a contour here on my cheeks. I'm just going to go back in and do my eyeshadow. I'm going to do it really quick for you. I'm not going to go too in depth with it, but we're just going to highlight right along the brow bone. So as you can see, we're going to do right along this into the inner corner of the eye. Make your eye look a little bit bigger and brighter. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. And I like to get in the corners here. Makes it look better that way. Go back in with a little bit more because this one's a little too faded. So I'm just using a little eyebrow brush, I'm just using a little eyeshadow brush, not eyebrow brush. Oh, I just got off from doing my eyebrows and got a little funky here, so make sure that they're the same on both sides. Perfect. So now we're going to go back in. This is a silver palette, so I'm not going to use this one, but I'm actually going to use this palette in Cocoa Mauve. It has a really pretty rose gold color, which is what I wanted to show you guys today. It has these colors. They're pinkish, kind of browns. There's a mix of different shades in here that I like to play around with, so I'm going to apply these ones with a brush. So I'm going to do that second color in, this one right here. And this is that kind of rose gold color that I was just mentioning. Tap the excess powder off the brush, and then we're going to just tap it onto the eyelid here. And we're just going to cover the entire eyelid in this color. So it has a nice little glow to it. I really like the way that this color looks when it's applied. Go back in a little bit more, tap it on. Just make sure we have that thickness in the color that we're looking for. Go back. Perfect. So this is a really pretty color. I love this color. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to use one of the browns with a smaller brush. So I'm going to do this, a mix of this top color and the third color in. So just going to tap it a little bit in both, toss off that excess, and then we're going to go into the corners. And we're going to layer with this color. And I don't like to put too much. I want it to look like a nice contrast to the lighter shade. When I'm doing a deeper smoky eye, I like to use a darker brown, but just since we're doing a lighter rose gold style color, I like to use this brown shade. It's a little bit lighter, so it's nice. So that's what it looks like. And then we'll go back with a thicker brush. And I'll be using this one. And then we'll be taking that rose gold and mix it with the lighter color on the top, so these two. And I'm going to just use that on the top, just under the brow bone, right on that. Right above the eyelid, and we're going to, in a circular motion, apply this just to give it that extra color. And this is really what pulls the look together, so I love doing this. I don't feel like my eyes are complete until I've done this part. So that's how that looks. And then I actually go back one more time and I use that lighter color again. So I'm gonna go back to my other palette, grab that lighter shade, so that white color that we used originally, and I'm going to use a small brush and a round brush, and I'm going to dip that in, and then I'm just gonna go around the outside here to make sure that there's no harsh lines, that it's all kind of blending together. And so just pulling that along the brow bone and right off the side of the eyelid. So easy enough to do that part. And that is all I'm gonna do for my eyes today. I'm going with a much lighter color. I really like to, just for, you know, everyday looks, so just for going to work, I like to do these lighter shades, then they're not as dramatic, but I love a silver or brown smoky eye when I'm going out at night or if I'm going somewhere to a special occasion. Really love to do dramatic eye looks, but not for the everyday. Definitely doesn't work out as well for me when I do it for the everyday. So now I'm just going to go back in and I'm going to throw on some mascara. And I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury mascara today. I like this mascara a lot. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Full Fat Lashes mascara, so it's a very simple mascara, nothing crazy, but it looks really good once you have it on. And then I always do the bottom lashes as well. I like to do a couple layers on both sides to make sure that I'm really getting the depth. If I was going somewhere or getting photos done, I would throw on my Ardell falsies, which I love to wear when I'm doing photos. I use either the Natural Multi-Pack, which is this one. They almost look like an extension to your regular eyelashes, or my favorite is the Ardell Glamour Pack, which is a lot longer and thicker, but they look amazing on, and most of my photos, these are the ones I'm wearing. So I don't wear falsies every day. I don't mind the length of my eyelashes, so it doesn't really bother me too much not to wear them, but when I'm doing photos, I definitely like to wear them. They definitely give that depth that I'm looking for in a photo, because you can't really see your eyelashes too much unless you have falsies on in your photos. And for blog photos, I think having your lashes stand out is really important, to me anyway. So that's something that I always like to focus on in my blog photos. And that is the finished look. So let me just do my hair quickly, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all together. So thank you for tuning into this video. I love sharing with you. I am looking forward to sharing a lot of really cool Halloween makeup tutorials with you guys. I have a lot on deck. I actually have a few sponsors for Halloween, so I'm really excited for you guys to see those. I think it's going to be really cool and different, and that is my favorite, one of my favorite times of the year, just because it's super creative and really allows me to share things that I normally wouldn't all year long. And yeah, so if you have any comments, any questions, if you have products that you think you'd like to see me try out, definitely leave that below. You can subscribe to my channel. I'll leave it right here for you guys. Also, you can follow me on social media at Bianca Blogs, or check out biancablogs.com for all different lifestyle and fashion content. Most of my beauty content will be here on YouTube, just because it is a lot easier to share with you in a video than it is to share on the blog. To write about beauty, it's definitely not as easy, but I have shared in the past some makeup products that I think people will enjoy. So thanks again, and make sure you turn on the notifications, that little bell below, and then you'll be notified when I post new videos.